All right, just to back up the title here, because people really don't like clickbait these days, YouTube Music has a very serious problem right now where the work of any given creator, all the ones that you enjoy, especially smaller ones who don't have a direct line to YouTube for help with this kind of thing, can be not just stolen, but absorbed into the account of a troll who then monetizes their complete portfolio of content, supplanting them as the owner of that material and handing down copyright strikes against them. For anyone who had trouble following that, I'll make it really simple here. I'm not just talking about the process of copying someone else's songs, which happens a lot on the platform. I'm talking about absorbing the stats of their entire channel into a brand new impersonation account, effectively replacing them completely in the YouTube ecosystem. And this can be done to pretty much anyone at any time until YouTube or the distribution companies responsible for making it possible, either or, get their act together. The situation I'm talking about today pertains to a creator named Ghost Data. Ghost Data has been on the platform for over 10 years. They have a tremendous number of original songs. They're actually going on tour right now. Congratulations on that front. But they are also being targeted by one of the most advanced and troubling copyright theft techniques I've ever seen, which is head and shoulders above anything else I've ever observed on the platform, especially in terms of relative severity. Here's the part where we need context, because I needed context, and I reached out to Ghost Data directly in order to understand the full scope of what's happening. YouTube Music, a fact that I knew but never really paid any attention to, is actually one of the top contenders in the entire music industry with ambitious goals of overtaking and replacing the likes of Spotify or even Apple Music. So far, it's going quite well, with YouTube Music surpassing 100 million subscribers to the service and a consistent growth rate over the past few years. But contrary to the workflow of a creator like me, as just one example, artists and musicians have a bit of a different situation. See, the music industry, YouTube Music in particular, heavily relies on companies called distributors right now, who serve as an intermediary between artists and fans while providing syndication services and other benefits. Basically, when you upload music, you do it through a distributor, who then takes your content and pushes it out across a variety of platforms, including YouTube Music, which then gets automatically chopped up into these automatic uploads called art tracks. Here's an example of what I mean. This is a song called Higher by Eminem, super famous, from his recent album Music to be Murdered By. As you can see, it says provided by Universal Music Group, and then lists off a bunch of credits, acknowledging at the end of the description that it was auto-generated by YouTube, and this is a process that happens for pretty much every single upload to YouTube Music by industry-leading distributors. In essence, it boils down to pick a distributor, give them your music, they put it on YouTube, and then YouTube chops it up into individual songs and starts pushing it out to all the actual viewers. Some creators electively try to do this themselves, especially if they have unique animations or music videos or something like that. But the general pattern is that small to mid-size artists are using a distribution company to automate the process for them. That's the basic contextual foundation, but why does it matter? Well, it matters because of this channel right here called Function Beats. Now, some of you may be thinking, who cares? Look how small that channel is. And yes, normally I would agree, but just bear with me for a second here. Function Beats has a whole bunch of playlists, single song album playlists, they say, on their channel. But when you click these, they all redirect back to Ghost Data. Here's an example. This song right here, Structure, redirects back to Ghost Data, the Beach episode, which has about 6.2 thousand views. It's one of his least popular songs, actually, from over a year ago, October 27th, 2022, if we want to be precise. Okay, fine. It's a channel that backlinks single song playlists that they claim ownership of to the actual owner. Still not a very big deal. However, if you then transition to the actual YouTube Music platform, things go completely off the rails. Function Beats is a music channel that has 136 songs right now, uploaded, all of them in 2024. All 136 of these songs are either directly copy-pasted work that belongs to Ghost Data, or slightly modified songs that sound like maybe an AI was trained on that material and then tasked with recreating it as close as possible, but slightly different. However, to be clear, the bulk of this, the vast majority of it, is one-to-one copy-pasted identical content. Now, what's interesting about all this is that if we scroll down and look for Structure, the playlist that we used as our previous example, we find this right here, which has 7.3 thousand views, but this time, the artist behind the song is Function Beats, not Ghost Data. And furthermore, if you click Go to Album, it does take you to the real song uploaded by Ghost Data, but if you click Go to Artist, it takes you back to Function Beats. Last piece of the puzzle here. If we now browse the actual YouTube Music platform and start searching up these songs that Function Beats apparently owns, we find this, which is an art track that is an automated upload by YouTube Music, after an album has been given to them by a distributing company, which has two, count them two, 1, 2 views, yet lists the main artist, producer, and lyricist, all of them, as Function Beats. This is what's wild. If you look at the entire Function Beats song category, this copyright troll has supplanted Ghost Data because all of their brand new art tracks have somehow stolen the lifetime plays of the actual songs and reformatted the ownership to Function Beats. They haven't just copied someone's work here. They've stolen the entire viewership history of that work and metric lifetime stats of the channel's content in general, somehow absorbing it into their own while replacing the true owner as the copyright holder, which is proven by them now handing out copyright strikes against Ghost Data with his own music. It's insane. Attempting to dig as deep as possible here, the company responsible for all this seems to be named Trendy Publishing, at least according to the automatic YouTube art track information, which comes straight from a distributing company, and Trendy Publishing appears to be some sort of umbrella corporation. It has 3 different associated employees on LinkedIn, Dylan Woodgate, Brooklyn White, and a third unknown member, but after attempting to track down the corporate information, business licenses, address, or associated subsidiaries, I've currently got pretty much nothing. Trendy Publishing doesn't appear to exist at all, and yet their YouTube artist, Function Beats in this case, has harvested and re-uploaded over 130 unique songs from an actual artist, somehow stealing the life's work of that actual artist, siphoning off their revenue, absorbing their channel stats into these new falsified uploads. And just to drive home the severity here, this can be done to any piece of content on the entire YouTube platform. Here's an example. From May 24th of this year, 2024, a situation cropped up where the Samsung washing machine jingle, which is actually based on a song called Die Pharrell the Trout, was re-uploaded by a tiny little troll, a verified artist channel named Audigo, who then used it to claim a 6-hour live stream of Fallout New Vegas from a Norwegian creator named Albino. How, you might ask? Well, easy. Because during the live stream, his Samsung washing machine finished a cycle and made the jingle play in the background of his broadcast. So the copyright troll, using derivative work from a piece where the copyright expired like centuries ago, was able to strike him because they uploaded the audio of something they didn't and don't own through a distributing company. See the problem? YouTube automates the process of chopping up and dispersing art tracks, while distributors, who are the real problem here in my opinion, are not taking any adequate precautions whatsoever to ensure that the material that they are enforcing copyright on is even legally viable to the person who gave it to them. Just to be clear, because some people probably won't get this based on what I've said already, this is a problem that has the potential to destabilize the YouTube platform, because you can do this with regular audio to anyone at any time. During his battle with Function Beats, Ghost Data, thank you again to him for chatting with me, noticed that one of the pieces of content that they had re-uploaded wasn't even a song. It was a clip of him speaking on stage. That clip of him speaking had been fed through a distributing company and used to absorb the metrics of his own voice, and was now being registered as belonging to Trendy Publishing, which lets them copyright strike him for a clip of his own words. It's legitimately insane. Distributors are completely off the rails right now. They have way too much power that they should not have and don't deserve, and they need to be put in check immediately. While YouTube needs to get to the bottom of how exactly someone can steal over 100 songs and then absorb the lifetime stats of the entire channel into the stolen content while harvesting all of their revenue, and they need to retroactively solve this problem and distribute what was stolen this way to every single artist or creator affected, because I guarantee you, there's more than just 1 or 2 here. The sad reality is that when something like this happens, 9 out of 10 times, or far more than that, the person affected can't get awareness. They can't find help. They get ignored by YouTube and they just give up. They get their content stolen, their metrics harvested, their revenue siphoned, and they just quit YouTube because no one helps them and they can't make a living on it. Someone has to be liable for this. Trendy Publishing or the other trolls perpetuating it? Sure, yes, obviously. However, beyond that, the distributors, who are very clearly failing to do any sort of proper verification before brutally enforcing fraudulent copyright, they should be held liable too. There should be some sort of financial penalty on this. And on top of that, YouTube should be held liable for automatically creating these tracks in a way where they can just absorb a creator's life's work into a copyright troll's pocket, like some sort of horror movie. Ideally, I think distributors should be liable for the damage they're causing by using YouTube to enforce copyright on work that they didn't even do the most basic due diligence on. Maybe someone needs to do this to a few larger channels on YouTube Music for them to wake up to it. I don't know. But as it stands, there's not enough being done by multiple large companies involved who seem to be deliberately turning a blind eye. And the only way to ever improve things is when people force them to, because they don't do it voluntarily. They need to be forced to improve. Bottom line, copyright trolls have always been an issue on this platform, but apparently they found a way to now steal the entire lifetime play history of actual artists and get away with it on a level where it should be concerning to every single creator who makes a living on this platform, and it needs to be fixed. Your move, YouTube. That's it. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. A special VPN deal, of course, locals and Patreon, monthly memberships, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. I hope that Ghost Data can get this fixed, obviously, and I hope YouTube can put these distributors in their place, but we'll see what happens. As always, thank you all for watching, question everything, and have a nice night.